Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, and welcome to this week's Saturday Surprise Workout. Today, we're going to be working on mobility. So we're going to work on our hips, and we're going to work on our shoulders, a little bit of the neck kind of there at the end, just some nods and some shaking your head no. But we're going to focus on our legs, primarily our hips, a little bit of knees. We're going to do, this is all body weight. The only thing that you're going to need at the end for some of the shoulder work is if you have a resistance band. It can be a light resistance band. It can be a therapy band. It doesn't have to be one of the ones with the handles. So you're just going to need a resistance band, and you're going to use that for the shoulder dislocates. And then if you've done mobility with me before, we're going to do the band pull aparts. If you have a yoga strap, you can use that for the shoulder dislocates. It's going to be a little bit harder to do using a yoga strap than a resistance band, or you can just modify and do body weight as well. I also recommend that you have some couch cushions or pillows nearby. A couple of the exercises, you can put them underneath your knees to make it more comfortable. And then a couple of the exercises, or one exercise for sure, you might have a cushion under your knees, but if you're not able to bring your heel all the way to your backside, it would be helpful to put a couple of cushions underneath your backside to take a little bit of pressure off of your knees. So have some couch cushions nearby, pillows. I just have a really inexpensive Airex type pad. You can also take a pillow, fold it in half if you need to. All that to say that this is body weight for the majority of the workout, just ways to modify to make it more comfortable. The majority of this workout, yes, you can do it sitting in a chair if you need to. So have a chair, preferably one without wheels. You're going to do what we do, but you're going to be sitting in the chair, and it's just going to be a little bit different, but it is something that you will be able to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to just go ahead and start down on the floor. And this is one where sitting on a cushion, sitting on a pillow is going to make it more comfortable for you. It'll elevate your hips and take a little bit of pressure off of those hip flexors. But we're just going to start in a seated position. And if you can, cross-legged. And all we're going to do is, if we need to, lean back, chest is still open, take a little pressure off of those hips. And we're just going to kind of do a little, we're going to wiggle. We're just going to move around like we're fussy, we're fidgety, we've been sitting for a long time, just kind of going side to side. We just want to wake up those hips a little bit. You can add in a little bit of turning, looking to one side, looking to the other. It's all about just movement. It's all just movement. We're not going to do a lot of holding and stretching. We're going to do some, but not a lot of holds and stretches, and we can go a little bit forwards and then a little bit back. And then I'm going to switch which foot is on top. I always encourage people to do this because we get into a habit of always sitting the same way. And I know this just kind of seems silly, like what are we doing? We're really just moving. We're kind of doing a little assessment as well, like how are your hips feeling today? How is your upper body feeling today? How is your flexibility? But we always sit the same way. We always kind of do the little same movements, and then that's where we start getting into some of these different patterns. So now we're going to take our right leg out, half straddle, left leg in, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to kind of go a little forward here, a little forward here, a little bit here, some turns. You can add in, some little side bends, going side to side. So I'm not being super fussy here. Good. And now we're going to switch it over to the other side. Same thing. So bend this leg in. We're going to take it a little forward here, maybe in the middle, kind of off over the other knee. Little turns. And I know it's one that you probably weren't able to hear, but I already got my right hip, my SI joint to pop a little bit, just because that's been giving me a little bit of trouble the last few days. So that's something that I'm trying to keep aware of. Good. And then we're going to go back to the other side again and just kind of see, how do you feel now? Does it feel a little bit better? Maybe it's a little bit looser. If you did something on the other side, come back, do it on this one. Good. And then switch one more time. Half straddle, a little forward. And sometimes we get really stuck. I'm the same way. We get really stuck in, I need to do X, Y, or Z. And sometimes just moving your body is what we need to do. Good. So now we're going to take it out into our straddle. So your straddle, mine's not going to be very wide. Some of my, if you're a dancer, you might be able to go a little bit wider, but same thing. So we're just going to kind of do a little wiggle, a little bit with the hips. A little with the hips, adding in the turns, some reaches. So it's not a lot of bouncing, just trying to get some movement in. Good. Bring it in. And now we're going to bring it in the center. And this is pike, or I call this an L-sit. And same thing, and now I just want you to kind of wiggle your hips side to side. You can have your hands on your hips. Remember, you can still be sitting on your couch cushion. You can have your hands leaning back if you need to take a little more pressure off the hip circles. But we're just kind of lifting our hips. I call this toddler butt scooch. So you ever watch a toddler trying to scooch themselves across the floor? Good, and then same thing. So just a little reach forwards. Little off to the side, little side bends, little turns. You can do this with me, or you can just do a little movement. All right. So now what we're going to do is work into our hips. So we're going to kind of go through all of those. So we're going to start with a half straddle. And then leaning back if you need to, we're going to bring it in and we're going to sit cross-legged. Good. And then we're going to switch it other side, half straddle. And then we're going to go full straddle. So starting with the other side. So we're going to go half straddle, cross-legged, half straddle, and then full straddle right here. So bring it in, and some of you might have to lean back quite a bit for this one. So we're kind of running through those full movements. Good. So bringing it in right here, and again, you can be here if you need to, and then take it out. Good. So now we're going to incorporate in that pike that we did, that L-sit. So we're going to start cross leg. We're going to take it out, half straddle, full straddle. Then we're going to bring those legs in the middle, and then we're going to go back for cross leg. So I'm trying to remember to switch sides. So cross leg, take it out, half straddle, take it out, full straddle, take it in for pike, and then cross leg. Good, we're going to do one more time each side. So take it out, half straddle, full straddle, L, and in. Good, and then half straddle, full straddle, bring it in for pike, and then back in cross leg. So you're probably feeling those hip flexors a little bit in there. Now we're going to go for our 90-90. So a lot of you have done this with me before. Hands by your hips, knees bent, feet flat, and we're just going to start going side to side. So we want to take one hip out, outer thigh is going to the floor, and then inner thigh is coming to the floor, and then we're going to bring it back up right here. Now if you need to, you can kind of pick your feet up. Some people find that to be a little bit easier. If you have the hip mobility, you can just go from one side to the other. Same thing applies. Lean back a little bit more if you need to take pressure off of those hip flexors. And we're just going side to side. And again, I'm not being super fussy about keeping buns on the floor. We're just trying to move into internal and external rotation here. Good. We're going to do about 4 more. At least 4 for me. Good. So now this is where we get a little bit challenging. So we're going to incorporate our straddle and our pike and our 90-90 and our cross leg. So we're going to do 90-90, and then we're going to bring it out into a straddle. Then we're going to take it out 90-90, and then we're going to bring it in for pike. And then we're going to take it 90-90, and we're going to sit cross leg. So 90-90, and if you can, just slide out into your pike, slide in to your 90-90, 90-90, and then cross leg. Good, so slide it. I can't slide very well here, but slide 90-90, straddle, 90-90, pike in the center, 90-90, and cross leg. Good, and we're going to do it one more time. So take it out, 90-90. If you can, slide it into pike, 90-90, or into straddle, I should say, 90-90. Now we go into pike. Now we go in 90-90 and cross leg. All right, we're going to go to a kneeling position. This is the one where if you've got extra cushions, grab those extra cushions. We're going to come to a kneeling. I'm going to place something underneath my knees. So this is going to depend on you and your knees. So we're trying to open up the fronts, and this is something that we want to be able to continue doing as we get older. And your options, you can have your toes tucked under, or you can have them pointing. You can have another cushion underneath your ankles. But what I want you to do is I want you to sit your hips all the way back to your heels. And if you are not able to do this, again, this is where you can take that extra cushion, fold it up, do what you need to, and have the extra cushions underneath your hips so that you are able to maintain that mobility where you can rest and relax into your hips, rest and relax into your knees without feeling excessive pressure, because we're going farther than your knees are okay with right now. So I'm going to switch, go a little bit lower. I'm going to try pointing my toes a little bit more, and I might have to change it up a little bit, but sitting all the way back, hips to heels. And we're just going to sit, and if you want, we're going to add a little rotation here, a little side to side. So just kind of add a little wiggle if that feels okay. Good. And now we're going to go ahead and sit on our back sides again. We're going to do a good butterfly stretch. So bottoms of the feet touching. We've done a lot of internal rotation. Now we're going to do a little external. So bottoms of the feet touching. We're going to gently press those knees out. Again, sitting on that cushion if you need to. We're just going to do a little bit of a wiggle. And then if you're able to, a little forward fold here, maybe off to one side. But we're hinging from our hips. We want to make sure sometimes we round our spine and try to get that excess reach and movement from our shoulders and our torso. And we want to get that movement from our hips. So just a little forward. I like to kind of trace the clock a little bit, go in different directions. And if you'd like, you can take it in, hold it just a little bit. All right, we're going to bring it in for that 90-90, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this front leg is tucked in really nice. working on the hip in the back. And again, we're trying to sit as tall as we can. So you might have to sit back here if you are really tight, or we want to try to sit tall. And same thing, just a little movement forwards, a little turn, kind of wiggling in, leaning back a little bit, but trying to stay as tall as we can. So you can do a little squeeze, a little rotation. This is a really good one. If you notice, this is my leg that I'm having problems with today. So you can just do some forward and back movement. So this is the one that's going to help stretch out the outside of your hip a little bit. Good. Let's bring it in. We're going to go over to the other side. This is our last little mobility bit that we're going to do, and then we will work on some isometric strength. So again, hand by your hip, trying to sit as tall as you can, leaning back as necessary. I'm going to do just a little forward, reaching, leaning back, little turns. Good. And then just a little bit of glute squeezing, opening up that hip a little bit. Every hip is a little different, so even your right side and your left side are going to feel different from each other. All right, let's go ahead and bring it in. We're going to go on to our back. And we're just going to do a little bit of isometric strength. So remember, our hips, they go forwards, they go backwards, they go out to the side, and then they also come in. So that means we need to strengthen our legs in all four directions. So we are going to bring the legs up, or if you can, you're going to keep them on the floor, but we're going to bring them up. Place your fists, thumbs facing in, pinkies facing out. Nice deep breath in, and all I want you to do is I want you to try to squeeze in with your thighs while you're also pressing out a little bit with your hands. And we're going to hold it for a count of 10. We're going to do this 3 times. Good. And then rest. And you can have your heels by your backside. You don't have to be in a full dead bug. So pull the knees in a little bit towards your chest. And then we're going to squeeze. If you prefer, you can also do this like if you have a child's play ball. So if this bothers your hands, a child's play ball. I've folded up a mat before and used my yoga mat for this, or even a yoga block, as long as it feels okay for you. Good, and then relax. And we're going to do this one more time. So set of 3, 10-second or so hold, squeezing the inner thighs together. You want to try to get to that 70% pressure. So if you're not squeezing very hard, it's not going to build very much strength, but you don't have to go full-blown 100%. You just want a really, really good squeeze. Good, and then release. Now, we're going to take the legs out. They're going to be fairly straight. They don't have to be perfectly straight. Easier option is you keep your backside on the floor. Option 2 is you're going to lift up. They call this a hamstring bridge, but we're going to focus on one side. So a little brace of the core. What we're going to do is we're going to lift up, and I want you to take your right heel, and I really want you to dig that right heel into the ground. And again, count to 10. Good, and then set the hips down. And I want you to walk that right heel in just a little bit. So halfway between your hips and your other foot, lift up. And again, I want you to dig that heel into the ground. And I want you to use your hamstring to think about trying to wrinkle the floor underneath your heel. So we're trying to engage our hamstring. You should feel this in the back of your leg. If you feel this elsewhere, try dropping your hips down to the floor and dig the heel in and pull. Good, release. Now you're going to bring that foot in a little bit closer to your backside, hips up or down, your choice. And again, we're going to lift up, dig the heel into the ground, and I want you to use that hamstring like you're trying to pull your heel towards your backside. and release. Bring it down, stretch it out. If you felt any cramping, what you do is you stop, you stretch, you let it relax, and then you try again. Cramping is your body's way of trying to protect itself. So as soon you have to give it time to learn that what you're doing is okay. So now we're going to take the legs back out again. We're going to lift our hips or keep them down. And we're going to take that left leg, and I want you to dig the heel into the ground, and I want you to think about bending your knee just a little bit so you're pulling with your hamstring like you're trying to pull that heel towards your glutes. And bring it down. Take that left leg, bring it in just a little bit farther. Again, about halfway between your right heel and your cheek. Lift up or keep the heel or the hips down. Dig that heel into the ground and pull really hard. So sometimes when we do certain exercises, we just kind of go through the motions. You want to feel this isometric movement. Feel that hamstring engaging. I'm doing 10-second holds and I'm already feeling a little shaky. Good. And release. One more time. You're going to bring that heel to a little bit closer to your backside, hip up or down, lift, dig that heel into the ground, and I want you to pull. So I want you to make sure that we're not pulling with our tummy, we're not pulling by arching our back. We're just trying to dig the heel in and use that hamstring, back of the leg. Good. I've got about 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. All right, we're going to roll ourselves to a seated position. We're going to come back into our 90-90, but our knees are going to be bent. And this is one that I have a lot of people that struggle with. So just think about using your hands and do the best that you are able to. So we're using our adductors here again. So inner thigh, hand by the hip. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift up kind of into a bridge. So we're going to squeeze our glute, press the knee into the ground, lift it up, and then we're going to take it back down again. Good. So we're just going to lift up. Now your goal is 10. Maybe you're not to 10 yet. Maybe you're at 2, maybe you're at 3. That's perfectly all right. So good. Lift it up and take it down. So I might just do 5 here. Good. So I'm just going to do one more. Bridge. And then bring it in. I'm going to switch over to the other side because I want to make sure this class also doesn't go too long. But you are welcome to continue and do 5 more or do another set later. Work your way up to 10. So hand by your hip, same thing. Press the knee into the ground. We're going to squeeze. I hold it up there and then bring it down. So hand by your hip, squeeze, lift it up. And bring it down. Good. And a couple more. Lift it up. And this is one that doesn't always feel really good on the inside of the knee, so always put something underneath it if you need to. Press. Good. All right, bring it in. We're going to be in, if you've ever done the adductor rock back with me, this is a good one to put something underneath your knee. We're going to take that leg out to the side. We're going to start, nice good half kneeling stance, leg out to the side. Your knee does not have to be perfectly straight, soft bend in the knee. And we're going to think again, pulling, wrinkling the floor. So I want you to think about pressing in to the ground like you're trying to drag your foot in, and you should feel the engagement up here. If you feel this on the inside of your knee, I want you to soften the knee. So it's not a full bend, but soften the knee, but I want you to bring it in. I want you to hold it for 10 seconds. We're going to do one here, one in front, and then one a little bit back. So you should feel that good inner thigh engagement. Good. And then we're going to take it out just a little bit in front. Keep the hips here, so we don't want to turn our body necessarily. And the same thing, I want you to press it in like you're trying to drag that foot in. Press into the ground and pull. I keep my hips stacked, so no going over, no going over. Pull in. Good, and now we're going to take it just a little bit back behind us, and we're going to pull in. So you might find that you can keep a straight knee on a couple. I find right now a little bit harder for me, where I have to really think about my body position to get my hip to come in. Good, relax. We're going to switch it over to the other side. Same thing, so half kneeling stance, taking it out. Toe pointing forwards, nice and tall. Press it into the ground. So nice, good squeeze. So we're holding, trying to hold for a 10-second count. We want to make that inner thigh do a lot of work. Good, relax. Take that leg out in front just a little bit. Nice and tall, and again, press it in. So I think about pressing, and then I start to kind of try like I want to pull, but because I'm pressing, I'm not able to get movement in that inner thigh. But I feel the tension right here. Good, relax. And again, take it a little bit back. We're going to press into the ground. So I'm kind of curious, which position did you feel this more? I feel it more in the back, like I feel the stretch. And I feel like I'm having to work a little bit harder with my leg in the back position. Good, relax. We are going to come up to standing. I should have mentioned that you need a wall, or you need, like if you have a couch that you can press into, something that's not going to go anywhere. We're going to do an abductor press out. So we're going to take our foot against a wall, or our thigh against a wall, and what I want you to do is, just like we were pulling in, now I want you to press out on this. So I just keep my legs straight, and again, I'm going to just press out like I'm trying to move the wall just by pressing my leg into it, just by pressing the outside of my foot into the wall. Try not to push your hip into the wall and lean away. We're trying to use those outer thigh muscles. Good, and same thing, take the foot just a little bit in front, press it out. You're also going to feel this in your standing leg. How much pressure you use is up to you, but again, we want to try to get into that 70% pressure. Good, 10-second count. Good, and now we're going to take the leg a little bit back, and same thing, press. Good, relax, shake it out. Turning around, switching over to the other side. So same thing, just standing close to that wall, nice, good stacked position. Press that thigh into a wall. It can be a footstool, if that's what you have, couch, just something that's not going to go anywhere. That's kind of the big thing, is we don't want to push it and have it do some movement. We're going for that isometric hip strength. Good, relax. Take the foot just a little bit in front, and same thing. So we have to think about this standing leg as well. So think about your leg position. We don't want to twist and rotate the hip out. So nice and tall, press it in. And always start at a lower pressure and then work your way up to that 70+%. Good, relax, take the leg just a little bit back, and again, press it. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm shaking a little bit. 3, 2, 1, bring it in, shake it out, walk it around, and just kind of see how you feel. So I've got a little bit of wobbly hips, but it feels pretty good. And we're going to go back down to the floor, and we're going to start working on our shoulders. So our hips are done for now. We're going to work on our shoulders. We're going to be in a frog position. If you need to do this one sitting, so like at your desk or something, what you're going to do is you're going to take your legs a little bit wide, and I want you to dig your elbow into one knee, and then your other hand is going to be on your other knee. So you're kind of creating a bridge here so that your hips don't go anywhere. So you'll be sitting in a chair and looking just like this. We're going to do our frog, hips to heels, hand on the floor, and we want to think about this shoulder. We don't want to let it creep up here. We want to push the floor away with the shoulder, hand lightly behind the ear. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, I want you to open back. Now keep it here. Inhale. Exhale, can you go a little farther back? Inhale. Exhale, can we go a little farther back? Good, bring it in. We're going to go over to the other side. So again, push that floor away, brace your core, hand lightly behind the ear. Inhale. Exhale, open your shoulder back behind you. Hold it here. Inhale. Exhale, can we open a little farther back? One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Switching sides. So hand lightly behind the ear. Push that floor away. Inhale. Exhale. Open behind you. Hold it here. Inhale. Exhale. A little bit farther. And then inhale. Exhale a little bit farther. Good. Bring it in. Switch. So push the floor away. This shoulder stays down. Inhale. Exhale. Open. So this is a little thoracic mobility in addition to shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Let's go ahead and bring it in. So we're going to stay in our frog position. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. I'm going to start to add in some shoulder movement. So we're in our frog. And what you're going to do is we're going to pull the shoulder down and back, and we're going to drive the elbow. So we don't want to drive it and pop your shoulder forwards. So shoulder down and back, drive the elbow. And now we're going to open, and we're going to reach our hand back, and then we're going to circle it around rainbow and back to the front. All right, so little shoulders, little thoracic mobility. So again, drive it back, open, reach it back, palm up if you can, circle it around back to the front, and reach. Good, one more time. So shoulder down and back. You should feel your shoulder blade pulling down and in. Drive the elbow. Open the shoulder. Reach it back. Circle it around. And reach it out. Good. Now we're going to switch. We're going to go over and do the same thing on the other side. So again, you can do this sitting. Just really watch your hip position. So we're going to take it down, shoulders down and back. We're going to drive the elbow, check the position, make sure the shoulder's not popped forwards. I think about pulling towards my hip, and I'm going to open my shoulder back behind me, reach my arm out, bring it up and around, circle, and forward. So same thing. So drive the elbow down and back. I'm having more difficulty on this side. I can feel it. Reach it. Circle and bring it back around. So a little bit of an open book rainbow. One more time, shoulder down, drive, open the shoulder behind you, reach, circle, back and around, and in. Shake it out, roll the shoulders. We're going to stay on our hands and knees. And we're going to do our shoulder circles. Now, if you need to, you can do this against a wall, or you can even do this just body weight only without your hands on the floor. Shoulders down, belly braced, elbows are going to stay straight. So we're going to start, just pinch and press. So these are shoulder pinches, pinch and press. Now what sometimes tends to happen is we start doing these and we start trying to do a mini push-up. shoulders down, squeeze, and release. Now we're going to add in a circle. So we're going to think about squeeze, shoulders by the ears, press away, and pull down. So squeeze, shoulders, and then down. So this is one, again, we start kind of doing elbow movement. We want to try not to do elbow movement. And you're likely going to find that one direction works better than the other. Goal is 10. Good. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go backward rolls, or we're going to go switch directions. So we're going to squeeze, pull it down, push, and then up by the ears. So squeeze, pull it down, and bring it up. So again, this is an easier one to do with your arms against a wall, so you're not holding on to your body weight. And to keep an eye out, I sometimes find that I start arching my back. So you want to get to about 10. This is also good for our wrists. So now what you're going to do is we're going to come up to standing. And again, you're going to need a chair or a wall. So you can stay kneeling if you have like a chair or a bench. I like doing this against the wall. So we're going to be a little bit close to the wall, shoulder down and back, and we're going to press our hand into the wall, and you're going to push. So we don't want to push and lean forwards. Shoulder down and back and press. And you should feel this in the lats right underneath, kind of under and a little bit behind your armpit. So we take it down and we press. And again, this is a 10-second hold. And ideally, you want to do a 10-second hold 3 times on each side. Good. And then we're going to relax. And then again, press. So shoulders down and back, press. We don't want to turn our body. We don't want to turn. We don't want to lean. It's pressing down and back. So we're working the lats. Those are muscles that are going to help with your posture, help you stay nice and tall. Good. Relax. We're going to do that one more time on each side. I'm just going to demonstrate. So say if you were kneeling and you had a bench or a chair, same thing, and you're just going to press down. Now this one for me, I find it to be a little harder because people naturally want to pop the shoulder up and push straight down, and it's a press down and a little bit of a pull back, So this is one, if your hand's a little bit lower, makes it a little bit easier. Good, and then relax. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're just going to start kind of back against the wall, shoulder down and back, press the hand into the wall. This is one, if you've got an ottoman, ottomans work. You want something with a little bit of firmness versus something that's super, super squishy. But you should feel this kind of back of the shoulder, lower down. Just a nice, good 10-second hold. And then relax. And again, 10-second hold. So press it down and back. And again, I feel it a lot more on this side. This is the side that I'm sleeping on more, that I'm starting to have problems with, because you never sleep in a good position, especially if you're a side sleeper. Good. And then I'm going to do one more on here, just like I did the last time. So close to your bench, shoulder down and back, keep that elbow pretty straight. And again, you're going to press down and then imagine like you're trying to pull back. We're not going to actually pull. Straight arm, down, and pull. We just have a couple more exercises left after this, and then you will actually be done. Good. Release. All right, grab your resistance band. So this is our shoulder dislocates. This one, the farther out you start with your arms, the easier this is going to be. Most of us are not going to want to start with our arms here and super close. We're going to want to start shoulders down, thumbs pointing in, back of the hand, and we're going to think about doing a little press. And then keeping your arms straight, and the reason a band is easier is because you can stretch that band to help bring you around all the way, and then again, we're going to press in the front. So take it back, up and around, and then we're going to press it back. So again, start with an easy band, start with your arms nice and wide, and squeeze. So bring it up and around, and as you start to feel looser, as you start to feel better, then you can start to walk your hands in farther, which will make this more difficult, but listen to your shoulders. Not everybody's shoulders are happy with this. What we want to try to avoid is we don't want to bring our arms up and then we have to bend, or one arm goes down and then the other arm goes down. We want to try to make it all one. Arms are straight, shoulders, bring it in. Good. Goal is 10. Work your way up. Work your way up. Now I know some people, if you have, it's pins in your shoulders and things like that, this one is, really hard to do. Like physically, your shoulder will not do this. You can do this against a wall. Farther away is easier. Bring it up, and then you're going to draw a circle around. So you're trying to draw a circle on the wall. And this is another good one if these are really, really hard. And I like to do this sometimes where my palm is facing in, back of the hand against the wall, bring it up, and then I rotate, back of the hand faces me, palm goes to the wall, and circle around. So that is an option for you if that's what you need to do. So that's what we're all going to kind of do right here. Shoulder down, let your shoulder blade do what it wants to do. We're going to do palm up across the body. We're going to circle up and around and try to bring our thumb up. And then we're going to rotate pinky down, bring it around, palm down. Now we're going to take palm down, pinky lifts, circle, thumb comes around, and palm should be up here. Yes, it should. So palm up, bring it up, thumb comes in, rotate, bring it down, palm down, take it down, press it back, pinky up, rotate, thumb up, and palm up. Good. Switching over to the other side. Cross the body, palm is up, lift it up, bring it in, thumb points to the back, check your arm position, see if you've got a wobbly shoulder, take it out, rotate, pinky down, bring it back around, palm down. Palm down, press it back, pinky up, circle it around, bring it back in, and down. Good. Bring it up, circle up and back, take it down, circle and lift, press it down, pinky back, up and circle, and back down. Good. Shake it out. We're going to do our band pull-aparts here, palms facing up. We're going to do 10 right, 10 left, 10 both, and then we're just going to do some neck drills. So shoulders down and back, palm facing up, brace your core. Left hand stays pointing to the front, right hand thumb to the wall. 10 of them. Shoulders away from the ears, very important. Good. 3 more. 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're going to bring the right arm forward, lock it in. Left arm goes back 10 times. Try to keep that palm facing up. Thumb goes to the wall behind you. Don't let your body rotate. Good. Couple more for me. Good. Give yourself a short break if you need to, because shoulders down and back, belly in, brace it. 10. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, set it down, off to the side. A good goal for yourself is to do those every single day. So now we're going to take our shoulders down and back, and we're going to do right ear to shoulder, then left ear to shoulder. So shoulders are level. This is your last exercise for today. Good. Now we're going to take our ear to the right. We're going to hold it, and we're going to very gently nod our head yes. Good. And now we're going to very gently shake our head no. Good. Bring it up, other side, ear to shoulder. Try not to let your body tilt. Hold it, and then very gently nod your head yes. Good. And then very gently shake your head no. So you kind of look down towards your armpit, and then you look up towards the ceiling. Last one. Good. Bring it in. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, and exhale. Good. One more time. Big breath in and out. And you are all done. So I hope that you enjoyed that workout. It was a little bit hip heavy, but at the same time, I have a lot of students that have issues with their hips, and I'm personally having an issue with this one today. So I wanted to make sure that we got some hip work in and then added in a little bit of shoulder work. When you do a lot of these exercises, you know, we did like a 10-second hold 3 times on the right, and then the same thing on the left. Work your way up to doing 2 or 3 sets of that. You will find that it will help you improve your strength training. It'll help you improve your running, especially if you notice that you have instability on one side of your body. Yes, we need to do the mobility work, but then we need to add in that stability as well. We need to add in that strength, and isometrics are a good way to do that. And it also helps. So sometimes I tell people, hey, I need you to pull in with your inner thigh. And you know, we're just doing leg lift and lowers, whereas, you know, this is I'm lifting and then I'm really thinking I'm pulling in with that inner thigh, and you're trying to get a little bit more active engagement. And so those exercises we did are a good way to practice that, to practice getting that good engagement in those muscles, especially those hamstring ones. You know, you can do a hamstring curl like this all day, and yes, your muscle is working, but there's a difference between doing these and really squeezing and then taking it back down again. So squeezed, really actively focusing on what muscle you're trying to use when you are lifting. Translates really well, a little bit better to, you know, your squats and your deadlifts and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed today's workout. Feel free to do this workout whenever you want to. You can also do just the hips one day, and then you can switch it and do the shoulder portion on another day. Mix it up. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Have a great weekend. If you need to, drink lots of water and stay cool. And I hope to see you in class again. So bye.